It is KTV powered by World Sports Betting. It is getimes.co.za. Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's a Friday afternoon. This is Nkululeko Nkeu with Tso Vilakazi and Lindo Pep as well, a television superstar. So yeah, thank you to everyone. We were not watching Pirates and Bolton. I watched it personally because I have time. But yeah, we are logging in just like last week, maybe to chat about a few developing stories or two. Pirates, I think, shy away Bolton 2-0. Bolton Wanderers in a pre-season friendly match. Apolis is wearing your jersey number. I know you didn't see it. What do you think about that? Apolis wearing jersey number 15?
Oh, well, nothing wrong with that, Mr. Q.
Yes, sir.
Pep Guardiola, sesidlala icarpet manje. Makavela bele kudlalwa icarpet.
He's a superstar.
He's the
Television superstar.
No, Mr. Q, there's nothing wrong with the jersey. One thing is that the boy just need to keep on focusing in his game, keep working hard, approach user those skills that we approach user lapana go Polokwane City. Other than that, I'm happy that boy, you must know that that jersey is a heavy one, boy. I took it from somebody else who did wonders, and I had to raise that bar again. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Tso. I think the biggest story that I want to chat to you guys about, it was reported by our journalist, Usinetemba Makonko. Of course, it would have been coming from somewhere, either from within Cape Town City or from Sundowns or from the agent. But the story is officially that Cape Town City have offered 4 players to Mamelodi Sundowns. They have offered Emile Witbooi, a young superstar, Shaquille April, who won the AFCON Under-20, Jody Ashane as well also won the AFCON Under-20, no Jaden Rhodes. Witbooi, no Rhodes, I think they are higher profile. Abo Shaquille April and no Jody Ashane, they're still upcoming. So the big thing, of course, is the fact that they say for 60 million, Cape Town City has offered those 4 players to Mamelodi Sundowns. Just a quick thought about that. I suppose as well we know ukuthi njengamanje Cape Town City ifuna ukuthenga status and maybe they want to cover for that as well. If you are Sundowns, what do you think about that offer? Are you salivating? Is that an offer that I really want these players? If you are in the shoes of Sundowns, what do you think about those players?
Mr. Nkeo, the thing is that with Sundowns, sometimes it's so difficult really to understand how they work. Because, if they manage to buy Jaden Adams, while they've got a very good development at DTC and under-17 that they've won the Asian Cup, it's a bit confusing. But again, I'm looking at it in this way, Yoguti. I doubt that they want to promote players from the development side, Sundowns, because if they wanted to do that, I mean, Sundowns development has been doing well for the past few seasons, and Sundowns they will buy those players. Flembeck will buy those players.
But by 4?
By 4.
Why would they buy 4?
One will be, he's going to look at the age of the boys.
Oh, but they have different abilities, those players. I think you can argue that there's only one good player there.
Yeah.
There's there's only one player that has the potential to break into Sundowns.
Yes. But if Sundowns can buy Nabo Sales, Nabo Suarez, why not with these young boys?
So Ngaleo 60 million, each player is worth 15.
That's the challenge.
I think their current value in rand is maybe not more than 2 million, 3 million. Currently, in their value. Shaquille April, they've not played much. They failed to help Cape Town City play off. I watched all of the playoff games.
Yes.
They couldn't even beat their players 1v1. Emile Witbooi, they don't trust him. They haven't even been playing him. They only give him 10 minutes. It's a ridiculous amount for the players that they are. Jaden played the whole season.
Yes.
He was very instrumental with Stellenbosch. So you could understand the price. But for these ones, it doesn't make sense.
Not with that price. I think he's just put that price high, waiting for Sundowns to come back to them and then they negotiate. But in reality, for me now, I will say Sundowns, you don't need to buy those players. You know, maybe Witbooi, yes, we can say yes, him. But the rest for me, I don't think it, because I've seen Sundowns development. They've got quality, better players that you can take them to PSL team. Now they'll do the job for you. But yeah, Sundowns, you know, they come from Club World Cup. What is 60
There's
million?
money to be spent.
What is 60 million for? I mean, the 60 million, it's nothing to them. So for me, Mr. Keo, no.
Can I ask you before I go to Lindo?
Yeah.
There's something that I kept on speaking to you about privately
Yeah.
when the playoffs were going, and we kept on laughing about it.
Yes.
I said to you that you could potentially give your players 2 million bonus
Yeah.
to say survive these playoffs.
Yes.
Here's 2 million. It's in
Yes.
cash. You can put it
Yeah.
in briefcase
Yes.
for the psychological motivation,
Yeah.
and say, this is 2 million. It belongs to you.
Yeah.
Help me in these playoffs.
Yes.
Or you don't do that, you lose the playoffs. Now you have to spend 60 million to buy a status. Ujomo Biela even said they offered me 70 million. I said no. That means even more than 60 million, you might spend 70 million.
Yeah.
The mathematics of ignorance in football, that you fail to motivate people with 1 or 2 million, now you have to spend 70 million to buy a status. We spoke about that privately, me and you, during the playoffs, and I knew it was going to happen, and it has happened.
Mr. Keo, you know, that's why I always say, Uguti, it's good to have these people that have been in the game for a long time with their experience. But now they need to balance it and understand and get explain. You know, Mr. Keo, people, they undermine ex-players. The knowledge that they've got for the game, they've got a lot that they can share and help the owners of the teams to say, this is the mind of the players. This is how we think when we are in this situation. And if you come as an owner of the team to say, look, as you guys are here, and then you come and do this, you change everything. And it was easy for...
John Committees because he's done everything in football. Why wouldn't he see that?
The problem is,
to motivate. He just kept on firing senior players, actually.
Yes.
During a playoff, he was just firing senior players. And I don't know, he knew this thing is going to be negative to the remaining senior players. As soon as we win the status, they're going to fire us as well.
This is the thing with some of the owners. They think they know better than the people that they did it before. Players, you know, Mr. Keo, I always emphasize this. Don't undermine ex-players. You can say, okay, maybe some that didn't go to school, blah, 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 it's okay. But there's one thing that you cannot take away from them, is the experience that they've got in the game. Remember, they've signed contracts, these people. They've played the game. Still, when they were young, growing up, now they understand how our contracts are running accord. And how can you motivate a player? Even though you see, I come nandile, yabo. But I feel like 10,000. That boy died for me. So they fail to understand those dynamics. So John Committees, I think, has got this thing in his mind. I did it before, so I can still do it. So you're going to make a corner today, where now he's looking for a team instead of spending that 2 million. Even, you know, when you say 2 million, even if you say here's 500,000,
it's still a lot of money.
A lot of money. Here's 500,000.
Especially if
boys.
you put it in a briefcase.
Yes, you put it here in front of them. Here's 500,000, guys. It's up to you. You want this money, or we go down. Trust me. The first 10 minutes, they'll get their goals.
Yeah.
That's how players they are in their mentality. Remember, Mr. K, that these boys, they also feel the pressure, they've got stress and all of those things when they're in that position. No one wants to find themselves there. But now you need to be smart. How can I motivate them?
Thank you, Mr. Tso. We speak about this part, of course, because we know Gunje by Cape Town City things about darling 60 million by 4, which is unrealistic. Iqale kwi playoffs la. But you fired players abomukhojo before the playoffs. Zashiyeka players indala pha zacinga ba apha ubangaba singabhunqa kwezi playoffs. Iyaba 2 weeks after siwine i-playoffs sigxothwe nathi senior players. So you have to find ways to manipulate people. If you have 60 million ukuthenga status, surely you can preserve 500,000 to save your status by giving your players money. Lindo Pep, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Nice to see you again. What did you think when you saw this news last night? Because it was reported at night by Itiski Times journalist Snetemba Makonco. It was maybe after 6 or 7 p.m. It was already at night last night when the story broke with the Sundowns has been offered. It's not Sundowns who's looking for those players, but they've been offered those 4 players for 60 million. Did you think it was a ridiculous story?
To be honest with you, I think one of the reasons, actually, let me greet, I think Bulisa Bafeti, the best development coach.
Mr. Tso.
Mr. So, the legendary. Yeah. Ngulisa wena Mr. Nkeu, ngulise uchasta, ngulise ne khohlwa la likhona man. Mr. Nkeu, to be honest with you, the first thing that came into my mind is I think it made the news, and I think it's a story because of one talent. And also it's about potential. And is Emile Witbooi. I think a development career of a player is sometimes in data because senior level he hasn't really showed. But I think the reason why it made the news is because of one player, which is Emile Witbooi, in my opinion. But if you really think about those 4 players, also away from the 60 million, I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of quality in those players. But another thing that you have to consider is the fact that Mamelodi Sundowns has an exceptional development. You see under 19 Mamelodi Sundowns being very dominant. Under 17s, the DDC team. You look at some of the players that are playing under 19, 17 DDC. They did very well in the under 17s. Some of those players won the under 20.
With Uma Bena,
For sure.
100%. That there is a pipeline there from players from development going to the senior team.
Another thing, Kulego, that I'm worried about is they're coming from a different team, Cape Town City. Cape Town City was just fighting a relegation. It's 2 things that you have to identify with the Mamelodi Sundowns players. Are you a professional football player? For sure. Can you deal with the stress and the pressure? Because there's a lot of stress and pressure. I think the reason why the Mamelodi Sundowns players get the big bucks is exactly that. Are you coping with the stress? Are you coping with the program that Mamelodi Sundowns has? I don't think those players can deal with the stress. They can cope with that program. So for me, it doesn't make sense why they are coming into the club. The price tag already raises my expectation.
I think all 4 of them, as a combo, they are worth less than 10 million.
I believe so. Less than 5.
As a combo of all 4. And they don't belong at Sundowns, clearly.
Sure.
I know them. I watched them many times in terms of their style of play. They can't even beat... Only Emile Witbooi can beat consistently 1v1 a player. I watched these kids when they play in the playoffs. I was so disappointed with them. They are not worth more than 10 million, all of them. Maybe not even more than 6 million, all of them.
I believe that they're not worth even 5 million. I think the most expensive potential in those 4 is Emile Witbooi. And also, we are speaking about potential, an exceptional talent. Unbelievable football. We see him, good tournament, Lau Junior Katai Ambassador. He look, but also, we cannot judge a player based on his development career. We need to judge you based on what you can do in the senior level, right? And unfortunately, the boy hasn't been given time as Lentus. But what is more important for me, Mr. Nkeu, in this conversation is you've got the Mamelodi Sundowns players, good development. You haven't given Ulu Clark an opportunity. Uma Bena, you haven't given him an opportunity. Maybe the only player in the last 5 years at Sundowns that was genuinely given an opportunity is Umadisha no Pesitao. To be honest with you. And one of the reasons exactly is that the stress, the level of stress. The expectations at that club is you are guaranteed to win the league. You have to win the league, meaning that you have to play every game to win. That level of stress to deal with is not easy. It's not like a Cape Town City where a draw is acceptable. Mamelodi Sundowns are in a space where they want to compete and win the CAF Champions League, Mr. Nkeu. I don't think those players are ceiling raisers. I don't think those players come into the club and improve. You have Elite Clark who, in my opinion, won the under-20. Why not give him an opportunity to play more of those games? Mapena is coming back from his injury. I think is one... If you look at the profile of Mapena, the talent, him knowing how to deal with the stress, he's been there. At least I got adjust into that group. We've seen so many players coming into Mamelodi Sundowns back. I love Uche, and we were talking about him. In the last 2 months, he hasn't really showed.
He's not the profile of a Pirates, and he's been linked with Pirates. He's not the profile of a Pirates player. He's now being linked with Sundowns. It's not the profile. I've seen enough to know that it's not every single match, every minute that he beats 1v1 his player. And they also, importantly, they come from a different cultural context. They come from a place where they don't play football. And people might not understand this. But they come from a place where the playing of a football is not an emphasis. It's about winning games. It's about a striker being number 9 and you being a winger having to cross to that striker. And then you go to a Sundowns and an Orlando Pirates that emphasizes on playing football. Completely. The Cape is a completely different place. And the only player who can be able to adapt to that is Emile Witbooi, because he can play football.
Nkulego, you know another thing that really puts me in a space where I think Mamelodi Sundowns genuinely improves football players, for sure. We've seen a Tebza, we've seen a Gran Kekane. For sure, they were never like this when they came to Mamelodi Sundowns. But now they've become... Kudisho Mudau is an example. But for me, my other worry is they're coming into a space where, from a Cape Town City, I haven't seen genuinely an improvement from Witbooi away from the potential and the talent.
Well, they haven't been playing.
They need to give him more
That's the
opportunity.
most important point, that he has not been playing. If you saw him at the under-17 AFCON,
For sure.
At the under-17 AFCON, that was his tournament, and they ended up qualifying for the under-17 World Cup. It was his tournament. The term and condition there is that it was at his age group level.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee that he will be a good senior player. I need to ask you something important to move the conversation forward. Let's look at Sundowns from two different perspectives.
Yeah.
The Sundowns that's going to buy these players, why would they do that? The Sundowns that's not going to buy these players, why wouldn't they buy those players? So that means I'm asking you, what do you think Sundowns will do with those players?
I believe that Sundowns won't sign those players, in my opinion. I think the club is at a space in Kulego where they just need one or two players. They need to just get over the line with the CAF Champions League. I believe that we've got some players up the ranks. You've got Uli Tlako, you've got Umapena, who are really knocking into the senior team, in my opinion. And if you do bring in these players, you are who have already done exceptionally well. They are used to the program. Mamelodi Sundowns, they're used to dealing with the stress, the pressure. They are also used to also being in the dressing room. So they don't have to be fit into the club. You bring in those players, for me, in my opinion, so you destabilize the growth of certain players in the team. We are all crying for Eli Tlako to start some of the games in this league. You bring in Emile Witbooi. Another thing why I don't think the club will sign them is because I genuinely believe that they're not going to add value into Mamelodi Sundowns.
They're not going to bench anyone.
They're not going to bench anyone. They're not going to bring in value. Maybe someone can also say Mamelodi Sundowns is signing for the future. But Sundowns does have a future. If you're saying Sundowns needs future, then Uli Tlako is what? Is he not future? Umapena, is he not future?
Right,
You've got to Koza as well, Mr. Nkeo.
Thank you. Let's catch up with our people as well. Close to 1,000 people on Facebook and just above 500 people on our YouTube as well. Thank you so much. We are cheating and chatting away. No one is going to die from the conversation that we're having. And after this, we'll shoot a couple of videos on YouTube, just like we did. And then other teams are going to play preseason matches. Some of them are going to win. Some of them are going to lose. Some of them are going to draw. It's preseason. We're taking it easy. Thank you very much for being with us at this point. So let's wrap it up then. Last 5 minutes. Who looks vulnerable to it? We're moving away now from these players and this transfer, because it's linked, this thing. Maybe John needs that money so that he buys a status. Tim Sugazi has already said that don't allow this narrative in the media to come with, I'm selling, I'm not selling. They called me and I told them I'm not selling. So Tim Sugazi was just trying to squash that. Yeah, but nip it in the bud immediately. Wafika na Grootman Ujomo Biela, a man you know very well. Wacho na wathi no nam ifikile imali engange 70 million that nandise grand kwangoku. I thought maybe the new teams about Orbit. Who else was promoted? I forgot.
Devon City.
Sorry, the ones that just got promoted now besides
Devon
Orbit.
City. Devon City.
Devon City, yes, thank you. Thank you, too. Nemakesi, as you mentioned, Lindo as well, that those would be the most vulnerable teams from a financial standpoint, because by Africa, it's going to be new expenses for them. What do you think? Or, number one, the question is, do you think someone is actually uzoluma kule 70 meter? Aithathe, 60 or 70? And who does it look like? They're from the list of teams, especially maybe 4 or 5 teams, because it's not, you wouldn't imagine Nabo Chiefs, Nabo Paris are going to sell their status, Nabo Sundowns, but maybe 3 or 4 teams that you think are vulnerable to sell that status.
I think Utim will go for it.
But it just said no.
Utim is very smart, Mr. Nkeo. You know why I'm saying Utim? Utim, he knows how to be in that NFT and then come back.
You know why it's also You know why I think Utim no Babu Chomopiela won't sell their status? It's because they are part of the executive team, PSL, and that means more to them. I think that's the reason why they don't want to lose that position. I think there's a reason why they even came to the media, and but it's because they understand that they've got a bigger responsibility, and that's not just being club owners, but also they are part of the executive committee at PSL.
If that's the case, then I don't think there's anyone who will sell.
Someone needs money.
Yeah, somebody needs money. Oh, I know John committees.
If we look long enough, someone there needs that money.
Yeah, yes. I mean, obviously, Obit. I'm sure. Yes, I spoke to the owner of Obit, and he's a very nice guy. And but I doubt that Obit will sell. Devon City, Kadola, I doubt you'll sell. maybe, if things come to us, maybe Makesi will sell. But I don't think there's anyone will sell because these two, Devon City and Obit, they are okay. Pocketing. Both are okay. Yes, for now, yes. And just that I'm sorry we beg and please guys, bear with me. Not in a bad way. Fortunately that I spoke to them. And they're in good position. They're in good position where they can run the team for the next 5 years. They're in good position.
In other words, is Cape Town City going to NFT?
Yeah, I see them going to NFT because these two, I spoke to them, they're in good position, they've got good support from the provinces, and also their vision, they've got good vision, they know how to do it, they know when they're going to do this thing of theirs. And for me, it makes a lot of sense. Actually, I was almost ngithengeka nami, but because of they've got good visions. And from where I'm standing now, I don't see one of them selling.
I genuinely believe that Makesi is the most vulnerable team in my opinion. And I genuinely believe so, respectively so, smaller clubs need to play their role in the league. For me, Makesi, I don't see their role in our league because there's no younger players in the team. But everybody wins a cup in this league. It says also about the standard of South African football that you can really have after OTG Yangena, they really had a better season. But it tells you about the standard of our league. But in my opinion, I believe that teams like Abo Makesi, teams like Abo Obi, they need to play their role in the league. Nobody's expecting a Makesi to win the league. How they approach their season in terms of playing their vision, they need to make sure that they've got younger coaches, younger staff in that, younger players that can propel and play for bigger teams. Understand their role. But bigger clubs as well need to support them by giving them a transfer fee, understanding their role. They need to have systems, a way of play, and nobody must have expectations with those clubs. So for me, teams like Aboma KC, teams like, Obit is one team that I'm talking about. I think they understand their role. Interested to see how they're going to approach the season in terms of younger players, younger coaches, inexperienced players with heart, with personality as well. So I want these teams, because the Cape Town City is, in my opinion, Kulego, I really feel bad for Uchon committees that he is relegated because I believe that he understood his role in our league. He played his role. He understood that I need to produce younger players. I need to give coaches an opportunity. I need to ensure that from a marketing perspective, this club becomes one of the biggest clubs in Cape Town. And I like the fact that they understood that. Produce national team players. Understandably so. There's a reason why these clubs need to play their role. And this is one of the things that I'm passionate about in terms of emphasizing. Because for us to have 4 or 5 competitive teams, we need these other teams to understand their role. We don't want an Obit to win the league. We want an Obit to have 5 or 6 players who are exceptional, that have a potential to play under 2023, that have a potential to break through into the Orlando Pirates team. Baba, I'm a season player. If you play one season, Obit, for example, you've got 30 games. With cup competitions, you've got 40. The following season, if you genuinely have performed well, you have an opportunity now to be scouted by Chiefs. Chiefs gives you an opportunity. You understand all the stadiums, you understand the pressure, you understand what is expected of you. So for me, if a Chiefs has a talent...
looks like they might sell their status.
Makesi, in my opinion, Kuleo. Makesi.
If Makesi doesn't sell, then Cape Town City is an NFT.
100%.
All right. You can close it for the people. Say thank you very much.
Kamala Mulindo Gutlenkosi, Nizblomele Negrotman Lami. The legend.
Bongane Benedict Pep Tso Vilakazi, Imlo.
It is KTV, it is Times World Sports Betting.